Hey, great afternoon, everyone. Welcome to WAFIF Connect. My name is Reverend Kenroy Waldo, one of the host pastors of WAFIF Clarendon. And God has just been doing awesome things with us at WAFIF Clarendon, and we bless God just for what he's doing in the lives of so many people and for how he's blessing his people in a tremendous way. I believe that as you connect with us, that the grace that is upon the house, that as God has been using our spiritual father and senior pastor and founder of Worship and Faith International Fellowship, the Apostle Dr. Courtney McLean and the Reverend Nadine McLean, that grace will also fall upon you in this season. This is the time for you to make the necessary connections that is going to shift your life. This is the time to make the necessary connections that are going to help you to come into your destiny, to come into your purpose. And so I want to welcome you to WAFIF Connect here on Omega Radio, 89.9. Join us right now. Tell a friend that we are on. Tell them to listen in on their radios. Tell them to join us on Facebook as well, because I believe what I'm about to share is going to help them. This month, we have been talking about reflection, celebration, and repositioning. And I want to tell you that it is so important that as you reflect on all that you have accomplished and what God has done, that you also go in a state of what? Celebration. Whatever God has done, it is time for you to celebrate. Last week, I believe I shared with you how the Lord healed many people at WAFIF Clarendon. Yes, can I tell you what they did was that they began to celebrate. They began to rejoice. Why? When you get a notable miracle, when you get a notable healing, it's not time for you to be sad. It is time for you to celebrate. It is time for you to rejoice. It is time for you to say, listen, God, you have been so good to me, and I am not going to hold it from you. I'm just going to celebrate. I'm just going to enjoy my life. Philippians 4 verse 4 says, rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say what? Rejoice. It's important that you find the time to what? Rejoice. It is a season for it. It is a season for it. So it's important you rejoice. Rejoice in the Lord always. Look at that word, always. And again, I say rejoice. Always is the very important. That's the imperative word in this particular verse. Always. Sometimes you think that you don't have anything to rejoice about, but when you really sit down and reflect, as we spoke about last week, you will find at least one thing to rejoice about. It's time for you to celebrate. It's time for you to celebrate. It's time for you to celebrate. So I want to share a couple of things with you about just the power of celebration. One, use celebration to persevere. Use celebration to persevere. So I read a story, and someone was speaking with Thomas Edison. And you know, Thomas Edison is the inventor of the light bulb, right? So someone was speaking with him, and they said to him, isn't it a shame that with the tremendous amount of work you have done, you haven't been able to get any results? Thomas Edison replied, results? Why, man? I have gotten lots of results. I know several thousand things that won't work. Isn't that big? Isn't that big? So here is this person thinking that Thomas Edison should not be celebrating because he has not received, in his head, he thinks that he has not gotten many results from just trying to invent different things with the light bulb. And Thomas Edison's reply was that, listen, results. He said, listen, I received many results. I have learned, I know now several thousand things that won't work. That's what I'm telling you. You have something to rejoice about. You have something to celebrate about. You know things that will not work now. You know what to do next time when a particular situation comes at you. You know how to address a particular person when they come at you in a negative way. Are you understand what I'm saying to you? Yes. If even in your business and you think that, your business didn't work out, etc., well, you know what to do the next time you are going to start another business. Listen, you need to learn how to celebrate just different things. That is a result. This says, I know several things now that won't work. I want to ask you the question, what do you now know? Having gone through different things, having done tremendous amount of work, and it looks like things didn't work out the way you want it to, and you feel down, you feel discouraged, I want to tell you, lift up yourself. Lift up yourself, because having gone through that experience, you now know what next to do. That's the first thing. The second thing is, do not give yourself something difficult if you are not going to celebrate your progress. Oh, can I say that again? Do not give yourself to something difficult if you are not going to celebrate your progress. My God, Apostle always says to us, celebrate small wins. Celebrate small wins. Yes. Listen, if you're not going to celebrate, why are you going into business? If you're not going to celebrate, why are you trying to do so many different things? Why are you trying to work so hard if at the end of the day you're not going to celebrate not even the smallest win? I want to tell you, it is time for you to start rejoicing. It is time for you to start celebrating. Now, another big point I want to share with you is this. If it is not worth celebrating, it is not worth doing. If it is not worth what? Celebrating, it is not worth doing. So whatever you are doing, make up in your mind that I am going to celebrate at the end of, or even not just at the end, but during the journey. I am going to enjoy this thing. Listen, it doesn't make sense you go and do something and you can't celebrate about it. Come on, come on, come on. I want you to shift your thinking in this season. My God, remember you have reflected. Now it's time for you to celebrate. Yes, yes. If it is not worth celebrating, it is not worth doing. Come on, say that right now. Type that right now. If it is not worth celebrating, it is not worth doing. So I want you to make up your mind that from today, whatever I am doing, it must be something that I should celebrate about. Even if it is just small, it must be something that I am going to celebrate about. Yes. The next thing I want to share with you is celebration reminds us of our power to choose. Celebration reminds us of our power to choose. We have the power to choose our attitude towards the adversity of life. That's what celebration does. Life will present adversities, but guess what? You and I, we have the power. We have the power to choose which attitude we are going to take. In the midst of the adversity, which attitude I am going to take. Look what David said. David says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no what? Evil. Look at the attitude. Look at the attitude. Look at the attitude. He says, I'm not going to fear in this thing. Yeah, it's a valley of the shadow of death, but I'm not going to fear. You have the power to choose right now. You can choose whether you're going to celebrate or you are going to have a pity party. Why are you having a pity party when you could be having a celebration party? Oh, who am I talking to? Do you realize that for some of us, it is easier to have a pity party than to celebrate? I want you to come into that attitude of celebrating. I want you to come into that attitude that though you have adversities before you, you can still rejoice in the Lord. You can still say, listen, I have something to laugh about. I have something to be thankful for. I have something to be grateful for. One of the most powerful things is thanksgiving, is gratitude. It is saying to God, Lord, even though I was not very successful at this thing, I have learned a number of principles. I have been able to connect with different people. I have been able, Lord, to just grow in tremendous amount of ways. My character has improved. Am I talking to anybody right now? These are different things that you can rejoice about. It's time for you to celebrate. Yes. The next thing that is so important is celebrate the journey, not just the destination. Many of us, what we don't do is that we don't recognize our progress and we don't invest in self-care. Whatever you are doing, understand you must celebrate that journey. It is you recognizing your progress. Remember, even if you took a baby step, you were not where you started. You are now further. I'm telling you, it's so important that you understand this small principle of celebration. The Bible talks about in Luke chapter 15 that which man, if he loses a sheep or a donkey, when he goes and look for it, leaves the 99 and goes and look for the one, if he doesn't celebrate. Of course he celebrates. He's celebrating. When you go down in the book of Luke, when the prodigal son returned, yes, what did the father do? The father had a big celebration for him. I'm telling you, it's time for you to celebrate. Celebrate those in your life. Celebrate your own self. We always say don't scatter roses when people are gone. Now is the time to celebrate people. Now is the time to enjoy your life. Enjoy the winds of life. Ecclesiastes says there is a time and season for everything under the sun. And in this November, it's time for you to celebrate. Some of you are waiting until December. Yes. And then in December, you feel so much tremendous amount of pressure to change curtains and in your house and to paint your house. And some of us, we feel so down because we cannot we cannot afford to paint our houses, or we can't afford to change the couch in our house. Listen to me, man. Now is the time for you to celebrate. Think of the bigger picture. Say, Lord, thank you that at least I have a house. Lord, thank you that at least I have curtains to put in my house. Lord, thank you that at least I have somewhere to sleep. Am I talking to you? It's your season to celebrate. Recognize your progress. You are not where you started. You are better. You have learned some principles. Your life is improving. I am inviting you right now, celebrate your progress. Celebrate the progress of your children. I have a 5-year-old, and listen to me, every time he does something that he could not do, he runs to me and says, Daddy, I just did that, and he's jumping up, and I give him a high five, and you see the big smile on his face. Why? He's celebrating. He's enjoying his accomplishments, even if it is very small for him in his eyes. It's a big thing. I want you right now to pause and begin to thank God. Begin to thank him for all he has done for you. Begin to celebrate his goodness for you. And then I want you to invest in your life. I always tell you, go and buy an ice cream, eat it, enjoy it. Yes, go and sit at the beach. Enjoy yourself. It's time for you to celebrate, because sometimes if you don't celebrate you, who is going to celebrate you? Then I want to tell you this. Celebration is a great way to reinforce small changes and pave the way for big successes. It is a great way to reinforce small changes and pave the way for big successes. Now is the time for you to reinforce those small changes that you have learned and pave the way for grand success. This is Celebration Month. Not just December. Start from now. Celebrating life. Celebrating yourself. In the mighty name of Jesus. I want you to type right now, what is your greatest takeaway? And what are you going to do to celebrate yourself? God bless you. Remember to join us at 6:45, 8:30, 10:30 services at WAFIF HQ. Join us at WAFIF Clarendon at 9 a.m. at 23 Sevens Road over by Central High School. We're looking forward to seeing you. Connect with any one of our campuses, because God is celebrating you. It's time for you to celebrate yourself. God bless you. God bless you until we meet again.